Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
You sound great.
Yes.
Yes. It was telling me I had to put my password in. I don't understand, but anyway, good deal, good deal. Hey, everybody.
Hello,
Hello, Priscilla. Hello, Pamela.
how are you?
Lanny.
Hello, Marianne. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Lanny. Hello, Priscilla.
Hello.
Dan.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Lanny.
Hello. How are you, Priscilla?
Good. How are you?
Hi, lady.
I'm eating. Sorry.
What's for dinner?
I know.
Gluten-free pizza.
Yum!
My husband made me the best steaks for my birthday. I mean, they were like this thick.
Holy crap.
Nice.
Anyway.
We have Vader here tonight.
What's that?
Marianne's steak that her husband fixed was that thick.
Yeah.
Hang on one second.
So good. All right. Perfect. We got, okay, so I think, Pamela, was I telling you about the lady sleeping under the tree?
Did you what?
Did I tell you about the lady sleeping under the tree at the building?
No.
Oh, no. So that was another part of my day. But
Goodness.
I was just leaving to run a bunch of errands and had to get back. And I walked out there and she's like, she's sleeping under the tree again. I'm like, a different tree. I know. But
Bless her heart.
I know.
Poor thing.
So anyway,
So
when
sad.
after my errands, she's gone. But I think we have a temp service that's downstairs. And I think she's waiting for somebody to get on board.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited about the training. I'm going to do this training on mindset, and I actually did this for
Peggy.
Saturday. Hello, who else? Oh, Mindy, Peg. Hi, Peggy. And there's
Mindy and Shelly.
So, if you guys have any questions along the way, just feel free to shoot them over at me. But I'm going to start off with this quote. Oh, I'll give them, we got like 30 seconds here. So I'll give them 30 more seconds. I'm glad you guys can hear me. That wouldn't have been very good, right?
Can you turn it up?
Can you hear me okay? Or
Pump up the volume.
Pump up
Yeah.
the volume.
Yes. How about good movie?
Woo-hoo! There's Ruth Ellen. All right, now
Yay.
listen here. Okay, I'm gonna pin my video, and if anybody wants to, like add to this, feel free, because I think it's
Great training on mindset right now with Marianne Niehaus.
Okay, I'm gonna mute everybody. Sweet. Okay, I'm unmuted. Okay, good. Okay. So I was saying I did this at a Super Saturday and it went over really well, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But I want you to start off with this quote, okay? So I want you to think about this. It says, because your thoughts you hold in your mind determine what happens in your life, it's vital to assume conscious responsibility for your thoughts. Does that make sense? How many times are things just kind of going through our head and we're just going off in a direction and we are not taking responsibility what is coming through? And, Shelly shared with us a little bit about, I think it was last week, and Denise kind of piped in about her belief, right, in the price of the product. Or, because people will tell me all the time they think it's expensive. And I used to, all of a sudden, I just like, my whole thought process is like, yes, they are. And, I can't tell this person anything different because I have the same belief, right? So I want to talk about your belief and your mindset. And we're going to play a little game here. Get out, if you don't have a pen and paper, get out a pen and paper. And I'm going to ask you some questions. And the rule of the game is when I ask you the question, the first thing that pops into your mind, you have to write down, right? We are going to take control of our thought process here. Okay, so are you guys ready? Is everybody ready? All right. Okay, so the first question is, what do you think about the outfit you're wearing today? Right? I'm feeling kind of sassy here. I got this little black thing going on, right? But so my first thought is, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So you just write these down. You don't have to share anything because it might get a little bit deep. Okay. All right. So the next thing is your upline just called you and told you need to be at the convention. What's the first thought on your mind? All right. What pops into your head right then? Oh, my upline just called me and said I have to be at this convention. What's the first thing that you think of? Okay. All right. How do you feel about doing laundry? First thing, somebody says something about doing laundry, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not there. I'm not liking it. It's not me. If I could find someone else to do my laundry, I would. Okay. Are you ready? How do you feel about cooking? Somebody goes, oh, you need to cook supper. You need to cook me some supper tonight. Okay. All right. What do you think about when you're going to get on this call? When it's time for you to get on this Zoom call, what pops into your head? Okay. So tell me a little bit about this business you're in. What happens when someone asks you that question? Tell me a little bit about this business you're in. It's so funny because I can see some of you, you're thinking, right? Okay. Somebody calls you and says, you know what? You just have to read that GoPro book. You got to read GoPro. And this has got to be like what first thing pops into your head. Okay, somebody just asked you, are you in network marketing? Is that pyramid thing? Okay. What is your significant other, partner, whatever? Oh, sorry. Is that 2 questions? Oh, I'm Wednesday. Oh, you're funny. Think about this business you're in. What one, Cindy? Which one were you confused on?
You asked are you part of that network marketing thing? And then you asked, is it one of those pyramid schemes? So is that 1 question or 2 questions? Which one do you want us to answer?
Both.
Thank you.
What's your mindset on that? Okay. So the other thing was, what does your significant other think about what you're doing? Network marketing? You know, my husband told me, I don't care what you do. I just want you to be happy and make some money. So that was like, I could do anything I wanted. And what pops into your head when I say, so what does your family think about you being in network marketing? Okay, so what I wanted to share here, yeah, I'm gonna go to jail, right? Is suddenly like a thought comes in, right? Some of these questions might stimulate a thought. Maybe you've had it before, you've had it in the past, or maybe you just didn't even realize what thought came into your head. And so my talk was about check your mindset at the door. When you're walking in to convention, to a meeting, to meet with somebody, what's going on? What's your thought process here? Some of us get into this whole mode. You know, I have somebody on my team that will they will work through the entire meeting. And at the end of the meeting, it's not going to be good. They have already in their whole, because of their belief, right? They haven't even started the conversation yet, but they're pretty sure this person's not going to like network marketing and probably think that they're a fake, and not believe in anything that they're doing. So we have to watch, and I've got this little thing here. We have to watch what our language is to ourselves, right? How are we talking to ourselves about network marketing? How are we talking to ourselves about the expense of the products? What's our conversation going on? I have sat with a friend of mine who was doing a presentation that basically talked someone into the business and out of the business, all in one sitting. How many of us do that? Because we're so sure they're not going to want to do it that we're already talking them out of it, and they haven't even started yet. All right, perfect. I love that Cindy is bouncing around here. That is perfect. And so as we've been going through this 65 and a wake up, and realizing what our conversations are, right? When we're interviewing these people, we have to get out of our head, into our hearts, and hear what they're saying, instead of our preconceived notion of where they're going to be with this business or what they're going to think about it, because it's what our thoughts are. And so what I want you to realize is when you get to this stage, I think about this triangle, right? And belief in the business, belief in the products, belief in yourself. And so I've talked about this before. Most of us are pretty tied into longevity and the message, right? We understand what Dr. Wallach's message is and where we're at. And sometimes when people don't want to do this, you're almost like, well, geez, I can't believe they didn't get this. But at the same time, it might be our conversation, our language that we're using. And so one of the things is, as our belief goes up, our language changes and our conversation to ourself changes. And so I can't remember what book or where I heard this, but somebody said, you're a professional network marketer when somebody tells you no, and it doesn't even make you blink, right? It doesn't make you blink. Sometimes when people tell you no, it takes you 2 or 3 days to recover. You're just like, oh my gosh, I can't talk to anybody. The 65 and awake is forcing me to talk to people. But a lot of times when somebody tells us no, we start to shut down. We start to back off a little bit. And suddenly our belief system is weakened. And so we go to convention and we get so excited about what it is that we have here and what's going on in our, and that's a great arena for belief. But then we leave and the excitement just fades away. Our belief starts to fade away, and enough people start telling us no, and the next thing you know, we're like, oh, it's too expensive. People have told me that. It's this, it's that. But what happens is when you get really good, and like where we're going with this 65 and a wake up, suddenly the no's don't affect you that much. And I remember I had this guy that I was so sure was going to sign up in my business. And he actually came to Colorado, met me, took me out to lunch. We chatted. I met his wife, his daughter, the whole bit. And then they left, and then I tried to get a hold of him. I couldn't get a hold of him. And finally, he answered the phone. And he goes, I've got to say, I'm just embarrassed, but, I went with a different company. And I said, you did? And he goes, yeah, I knew this big leader. And so I decided that I was going to go with them. And I said, well, you know what? I wish you all kinds of luck. I know this is a great place for you because that's where you feel comfortable. And basically I hung up the phone, made the next call. And like later in the day, I was like, oh my God, I'm a professional network marketer, right? The no didn't bother me. But here's why. Because my belief, my belief and my mindset and what we're doing, I know this is the right place. I know this is the right company. I know I'm in the right spot. I believe in what the products do. I believe in the profession of network marketing. And you're right. It doesn't matter what other people think. As long as you have a strong belief in yourself. Think about the things that you believe so strongly that no matter what anybody says to you, you will not falter. Do you have those kind of things that you believe in? Yeah. And so when you get that, what do I want to say? That, strength in your belief in network marketing. And that's why I think these third-party things, the Eric Worre books, the different things that we talk about, what I believe that does, and oh, Trisha's here. We went to the first Eric Worre conference, and I just remember, like, we were walking around going, oh my God, we're looking at all these people. But what we realized is that this is real. This is not some fake thing. This is not some scammy thing. This is real. And this is where you meet real people, real, authentic people. There's a few flakes here and there, but like, who is it that says that? Oh shoot, he goes, there's those rotten people, but you just keep meeting them over and over again, or whatever.
They recycle.
Yeah, right. They recycle. But that just increased our belief level. There's some seminars coming up. There's a summit that Tom and Denise are in, and so all these people. Okay, there's no kissing and no eating. Okay, no eating and no kissing. No.
Who's eating and kissing?
Well, people are always eating on here, and Ruth Ellen just got a kiss from her husband. That was very sweet. But that's where, when you look around and you see other people and you're thinking, oh, well, they just don't believe in this. Well, check your mindset, check your belief, check where your thinking is coming from. Is it something that, somebody said, oh, you do network marketing? I'm like, heck yeah, I do network marketing. Who wouldn't? Somebody gave me this line of, every smart person I know is in network marketing, right? Think about it. We got lawyers, we got doctors. It's people who, really are looking for more. And so that's why I think it's so important for you to know where your mindset is around this. So some of those questions, there's other questions obviously to be asked, but think about this. And I did this was when, okay, so just for everybody's information, I never was a graphic designer. So I owned a business. I owned a big business, and I hired graphic designers. So Tom is always saying I'm a graphic designer. So if you see anything that I do, it's not really graphic design, okay? But, one day I took out a spiral notebook and I wrote my emotion attached to everything I did during the day. Think about this. I own my own business. I'd be on the phone with some lady trying to collect money. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I feel sick to my stomach. I felt sick to my stomach. I go to a meeting and have to meet with somebody. And so on the one side of my list, it was like, what would you love to do? And I'm like, I would love to get paid to have coffee with my friends. That's what I want to do. And guess what? I get to do that almost every morning. I get to have coffee and get paid, right? But what I really wanted to do was I wanted to sit down with my friends and have deep conversations and have a solution. Because how many times do you sit down with a friend and they're hurting? It's financially, it's emotionally, whatever it is. And in the past, you'd be at the water cooler, or, somebody would be telling you something, their health issues and what have you. And you'd be like, yeah, man, I know that's terrible. I don't know what to tell you. But now we have a solution. But where's your belief level in that? So many times we see all these product results. That's easy. That belief level for me was very easy. Seeing people getting better. Today I was at my chiropractor and he's, joined the team. And I think I talked about him a little bit on the 65 and Awake, but it was one of those things where I said, I just want to meet with you and pick your brain and let's have coffee. And we did. And then he started telling me about what he was passionate about. And then he said, tell me what you do. And so I told him, and then he's like, well, I want to try these products. And, the next thing I know, a week later, he's coming in with a CEO. It was so easy. I was like, oh my gosh, right? And so where our conversation was that he could see my belief level, not just in, oh good, your chiropractor has joined too, good. Not just in the products, but in the passion and the belief in what I was doing in network marketing. and the profession and how it could help, you know. And here's what I didn't know, and I might have shared this, was that he actually was having such excruciating pain, and he was on all these other products, and he was on that chiropractor product, whatever it is, standard process. But guess what? He wasn't having those kind of results until he started taking our products. And so I was in there today, and he's like, you know, I'm kind of getting to like this Osteo FX liquid, but because of the result, right? He said, my ankle was killing me. I drank some of this, and then, you know, an hour later, I felt relief. So the products are easy to have that belief in, but the business, not so much, right? So people, okay, so here's another question. Are you guys ready? You got your pen and paper? So tell me what kind of money you're making in network marketing, right? And so, you know, if you haven't made any money, or you're at a place where you would like to make more money, suddenly you have this emotion, you have this mindset, this belief around that. And so one of the things that I noticed, just because of my being raised in say poor or whatever, but, you know, a family that had such a negative attitude towards money, I started building my confidence and my mindset around money. I started reading books. I started studying it. I started getting more curious about it, because in the beginning I was scared. And so when I was talking to someone about that $4.99, you know, my conversation was, well, it's $4.99. You know, how does that sound? Like, it's a lot of money. You know, now my conversation is it's $4.99. The value is unbelievable. And if if you have a big dream and that's where you want to go with this, then the $4.99 is the only way to go. You know, if you want to come in at 25 and just kind of dabble for a little bit and check it out, that's great too. And so, but I'm convinced that I believe that the $4.99 is the way to go, if it's appropriate. And let me just back up with that. If someone says, you know what, I can do the 25 and get a bottle of minerals, that's really all I'm at right now, it's like, that's great. You got to meet people where they're at. I never want anybody to feel bad if their belief at the time is that they can't afford that, right? Because I'd rather have them get a $20 bottle of minerals than walk away with nothing. And if all they can do is the minerals and just become a preferred customer, that's okay too. Because a lot of my people who are building started off as a customer, including myself. We didn't even have the CEO pack when I came in. There was nothing like that. And so once it arrived, I was like, this is what we have to do, right? Because we had that opportunity, and because I knew. And now I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been driving, you know, Youngevity has been paying for my car for years. I had to laugh the other day because I looked at the little graph of how much money, you know, I've gotten for my car bonus. Unbelievable. I sat in a room just like all you guys. I watched people talk about this stuff, and for years I never believed I could do it. I never believed I could do it. And guess what? I didn't do it. I didn't do it until I got that belief, until I proved to myself, right, that I could do it. And it's just the same thing of what we talk about every single day in the 65 and a wake up. It's about setting that goal. It's about doing what you have to do. It's about showing up. You have to do the work. You can't just show up every once in a while. And I want to apologize because I know I'm not on 65 and wake up. But I do go on there. And I have tons of interviews. And if you can imagine, I have 2,300 contacts in my phone. So does anybody have 2,300 contacts? And a lot of them have been contact mapped. So my problem is keeping up with all those people. So I can't wait for Adrian's app. Does anybody, so tell me, does anybody have something that their mindset is and they're just not sure how to change it? They're not sure how to get their thought process to be something different than what it is. Because a lot of times And I've done a ton of personal development. I don't know, I know Pamela has, I know a lot of you guys have. When I realized, of course, the first time somebody said, you should read this book, or you should go to this class, this personal development class, I was like, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. I'm fine. But really what it's about is about you becoming a better you, right? You believing in you. It doesn't matter. I can remember my brother-in-law taking me to tears one time about longevity and what I was doing. And I couldn't even believe it. But you know what? It wasn't his fault. I just didn't have the strength. I didn't have that belief yet. And so it was easy for him to manipulate me, right? And make me feel bad. And even though I believed in my heart that I was doing the right thing, but I had to work on myself. And what you hear all the time about these, people standing up on stage, no matter where you go, they've done a lot of personal development. And what that can mean, like for me, I knew I had a program around money. I knew I had a program around broke. And ironically right now, and even when I owned my own business and I made decent money, it was a business, it was a company. I'm making more money now than I've ever made in my life. I used to manage a group of designers, for a company. And so I'm looking back going, oh my gosh. So first of all, I believed in longevity. I knew that. I believed in the products. I believed in the mission. Okay. Then I had to figure out a way to believe in myself, believe that I could do this. And everybody's going to be different. Everybody is going to have a different block or a different thing. And if you want to call me and chat through it, or I know Pamela's great. I mean, there's lots of great resources. And on the 65 and a Wake Up, there's lots of great resources on there. So I'm like you were in the beginning, my belief isn't there yet. Right. But and you believe in the product. That's the easy side. That's the easy part, is believing in the product. I mean, Vincent's on here, and I know he believes in his products, and he's been on it for years. But getting to the point where you believe that you can do this, and so many people I think are getting that. They're getting that on the 65 and away, and then believing in yourself. You've got to believe that you have what it takes. And again, going back to this whole money thing, where, oh my gosh, if somebody mentioned the word money, I would feel sick to my stomach. That is no lie. When somebody said something about paying a bill, I would feel sick to my stomach. I didn't know how we were going to pay, our house payment, or how we were going to feed our kids. I have a training that I do called I'm Here Because of Top Ramen, because that is what, that's all we had to eat was Top Ramen. And I used to take my kids to Costco for lunch, and we would go around to sample things, and I'd be like, get it over there. They got salmon, and luckily I only had 2 kids, but, Trisha's over here laughing because we were both very broke at the same time. So we would go to, different places, but you know what? We would go to the, thrift store, and $1 bag day or $2 bag day or $5 bag day, and we'd fill the bags up with clothes for our kids and for ourselves sometimes. But you know what? I've been there. I did all that stuff. And so when you realize the only way network marketing doesn't work is if you don't work, if you quit. If you quit on yourself, really that's what is happening. If you quit network marketing, you're quitting on yourself. Because if you just keep doing this, and I remember I was on a cruise with Dr. Wall. I sat at a table with Dr. Wallach and Shar. I don't know how many of you guys know Shar and her sister. But we were like, and Lorene Williamson was with me, and we were like, give us a nugget. Like everybody's always looking for the big secret, right? And she just looks at us and she said, never, ever, ever quit. And I'll never forget that. At a time when it was like, wow. So my whole concept of quitting is just, I'll never quit. I will keep going and keep going. And I don't care how many people I have to talk to, how many people tell me no. because I know this works. I've seen it work. I've seen where I'm at. I see where you guys are going. I see where people ahead of us, and that's the other thing is that with a lot of times when we look above, we see people up on stage, and what we don't see, the comment of we see the glory, not the story, right? So many people, if you're struggling right now, just talk to someone and let them help you and walk through whatever it is that's troubling you, and so we have all these books that it's just funny because every time Tom, talks about a book, we read it, or somebody else, suggests a book, we read it, whatever it is. And now I'm off on some other tangent in books, but I'm reading the one thing that started this whole 65 and a wake up, how to create a habit. And I've got a lot of habits, some good and not so good. And I'm creating new habits. This is so funny because I went to the dentist, right? And she's like, you have got to floss more. You are not flossing enough. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to floss at least once a day. And I have managed to do that at least once a day, right? I'm going to the chiropractor because I have some scoliosis and I have some other stuff going on. He's like, you need to get adjustments and you need to wear a wedge in your shoe and, all these things. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this because I want to have an extraordinary life and have extraordinary health and be able to share that with other people. All right. Does anybody have any questions? It's been kind of going along here and I haven't really looked. All right. What do we got? Pamela, have you been kind of reading everything?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So what's going on here?
Oh, you mean reading the messages? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hold on. I saw that Shelly made a comment that she was there at the beginning, but her belief isn't there yet. I believe in the products. Now, Shelly is the one who's lost all this incredible weight, has to have bought all these new clothes. Is that correct? Am I right in making that?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And then Priscilla, that is my problem. I just have so much trouble with self-confidence. I can also relate to the money issue. So let's kind of focus on that, the self-confidence and the money issue. So let's find out from Priscilla where she is about that self-confidence and what I had a great conversation today where we talked about the issues that come from our family of origin, something that is very, very deep and ingrained in your being that comes up. And it's when Tom talks about the little guy in the shoulder that we need to punch, often the little guy in the shoulder is speaking. Yeah, flick him off there, Cindy. He is the coming in the voice of somebody who said something very impactful to you that may have been insignificant at the time, but you kept it. It stayed with you, and you're replaying those tapes in your head. So I want to find out if we can ask Priscilla to come up and talk with us about what it is that she finds that self-confidence issue rears its head. When does that happen?
Oh, are you on mute? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I've been very heavy my entire life and ridiculed throughout my entire life. And I'm in the process of losing the weight. I've lost a good deal of it, but still have some. But I still have that angst about talking to people I don't know. And I just don't know how to go about starting a conversation
Okay.
about the product or the business or anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you mind if I field that one?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, Priscilla, you're here because you care about people, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you want to make a difference,
Yes.
right? Okay. So what happens when you see somebody, if you're out at the store, if you're at church, if you're walking down the street, if you're anywhere, and you smile at somebody, what happens?
Usually they'll smile back.
Exactly. And so what happens is that these people become a reflection back to us of what we project. Okay, so it's kind of a hard thing to imagine because that's kind of that shadow self of ourselves when we see that negativity come to us, but it often is a reflection of our perception of what they are thinking or what they are doing based upon our feeling about ourselves or about the current situation. And so if you can, no matter what, approach somebody with a loving smile and that smile in your heart, everyone is going to recognize that. And so then you'll find that people will strike up a conversation with you. If they feel that you are a pleasant person and they see you, it happens all the time. I'll be standing in the supermarket and I just turn and I smile at somebody and all of a sudden they're telling me their life story. And my husband and my mother look at me, they're like, do you talk to everybody? I'm like, hey, yeah, I do. I will talk to anybody because everybody needs love, right? And so if you think of it in that way, and I have another person on my team who has a similar issue, that she's very self-conscious about her appearance. She's gained weight as she's gotten older, and she feels like the people that she knew from the past where she was very successful, they wouldn't look at her the same way. And so I said, you know what? How about if you call them on the phone? You're talking with them on the phone. They don't see you. So you're reintroducing yourself to them in a way and communicating with them where there's not a place for that judgment to happen. And she thought, you know what? I didn't think of it that way, because in her mind, she's thinking about how that issue comes up. And so then now what's happened with the 65 and a Wake Up is now she's able to talk to people that she didn't realize she was already in the process of doing good interviews, because she was too caught up in her own perception of herself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so now, if you stop thinking about your image of yourself, and then you just start thinking about, all I want to do is love them. All I want to do is help somebody feel a little bit better. And that will shine through. And people will see that and feel that. And then you'll start to make tremendous changes and differences.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Priscilla, I have no idea that about you, right? We see things in ourselves. We think that's what people see all the time. But, ask Trish. She's like, her nose is crooked. I'm like, until you pointed it out, I didn't even notice it.
Marianne, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I was born with a broken nose. I deal with this weirdness of the doctors broke my nose with the forceps, and I am forever uncomfortable and feel so ugly with this nose. Seriously. And it plagues my existence. It plagues me. And you know what? It's so funny because everybody, until I say that, they're like, I never noticed that about you. I'm like, well, I'm always kind of like this or like this. Or like,
I have
okay.
See, look.
You have a little crooked tooth?
Yeah. But I have a stained tooth right here, and it's not even really stained, but the tooth, it's so crooked that the shadow makes it look stained. But you know what? I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm completely over it. Yeah, Trish has like a weird toe. How many toes do you have on your foot? She has like four and a half toes. And she wears flip-flops all the time. And I'm sure people notice her toes once in a while, especially when she points out her little petty that she just had. But it's like, so everybody's got something. Everybody has something that they're self-conscious about. So here's the other side of it. If you point it out, it's like, does my butt look big in these pants? Right? Well, I didn't notice until you turned around and showed it to me, and now maybe it does. But so what we do is we tend, here's the thing. Okay. Oh, Pamela, I love those glasses you're wearing. Well, my nose is crooked, that happened. And so they kind of sit crooked and like, yeah. So as soon as somebody gives us a compliment, the first thing we want to do is break it down.
Belittle ourselves.
People have told me, I went to a party one time and I bought this purse. And I guess it was kind of a brand name purse. It was something my husband took me to this party, and I didn't even know it was discounted, and so I bought it. And then I had this corduroy coat on, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you've got a so-and-so purse," and yada yada yada. And I'm like, "I do," So I'm kind of looking at it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's got this on the side," and I was like, "Oh, cute." And then they asked me where I got my coat. Kmart. So I didn't want to say Kmart, because they're so impressed about the purse, right? So I just said, this thing, I don't really remember. But I I'm just like, who cares? Who cares? I'm over it. I don't care. And so the thing is when you are, when you get to this point where you don't care what people think, it's about who you are. Hold on, I gotta shut the door. We got a guest here. I'm gonna shut this. Okay. But, when you're so over it that it doesn't matter. And it's such a great feeling. It is a tremendous feeling. Because you know what? I don't care. And that's what Tom's like. You are so unflappable. It's because I don't care. All I care is about what I believe in and how I feel, right? And so what other, that whole thing about I don't care what your opinion is. Everybody's got one, and your opinion about me doesn't matter. Oh, sorry. I need to be on the big screen. But, it's one of those things where we just need to get over ourselves and quit trying to make ourselves feel bad. I remember one time somebody complimented me, and it was a younger friend of mine. And right away, I had to belittle it. And then he goes, how about just saying thank you and leave it at that? I was like 50 something going, you're absolutely right. I never just say thank you. Thank you for that compliment. Thank you for that. Just like Priscilla, I think you are a beautiful person. And you are. And just know that. And Lanny and, everybody on here. I mean, it's such a hard thing. And and that's why I have to laugh, because we all have these weird insecurities that people don't even notice. They don't notice. So just get over it. The money mindset, and I want to talk about that a little bit because I had my dad was so flippin' cheap, right? And my stepdad was a con man. And so, there were times I come home from school and, when I left, the house was all put together. And when I come home, we've got a U-Haul on the back of the car and I just get in and we drive away. And I went to I don't even know, 22 different schools before I graduated. And yeah, you need to write a book. Oh, are you talking to me? Pamela? Yeah, I need to write a book. But you know what? It was so many of those things that I lived my life around. My dad had died, and I was still living my life around how I thought he felt about me. And it's just like what Pamela was saying. These things come in because they were ingrained in us. And so whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's read a book, that Untethered Soul, I don't know if you've ever read that. That's a great book to read. Or, get on some of the trainings that they do on, YouTube or whatever it is. And just really become the best you can become and just be happy with who you are. Say that's okay. That's it. And it's okay. And that's the crazy thing. It's hard, but it's simple. It's just like network marketing. It's hard, but it's really simple. And we had that Mark J, which I know is a good friend of Pamela's and such a giving guy. And he was on the Tom Chenault show last week. He was our guest on the show. But, he said there are no secrets in network marketing. And if people try to suck you in saying, I can give you the secret, there is no secret. But I'm going to say these two lines that he said. And Pamela, you might know him better than me because.
What are you looking for?
He said you just need to ask yourself two questions every day. Right? What am I pretending not to know?
What? Yeah.
What am I pretending not to know?
I have that on my mirror in my bathroom.
Yeah. What are you pretending not to know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the other one was, it's about the person. What's that line about who you?
What would the person you hope to be do next?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would the future you? What would the person that you're trying to be? What would that person do next? And so if you do that, you think, oh my gosh, if I were the professional network marketer, the person that I am hoping to be would. Repeat that, please. What would the person I am?
Type them in the message.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Okay.
Yeah. So what would that person do? You know, they get up and do 2 interviews in one 3-way call, right? And Priscilla, here, I wanted to say too, for you, think about all the other women that are out there that feel just like you feel. They're walking all around. And like Pam said, you make a compliment and then you know, you get to know somebody and you find out they have the same insecurities. And so then you know what? I want to get over this. I want to get past it.
Hang on, it's what would the person I intend to become do next? Let me write that.
Okay. So
I have it right. I have my little Mark Januszewski cards of with me here.
There you go. And so, I mean, sometimes we get so complicated around all of this, and it's not that complicated. But what I do know is the me that I am now is different than the me I was before. And I like this me a lot better. Because the me before was, woe is me. It was everybody else's fault. My life was all because of my boss, my this, my that, whatever it was. And the day I took responsibility and said, you know what? My life is a reflection of who I am, what my language is, what I'm doing. So I decided to change that. And so back to my little quote that I had in the beginning is because the thoughts, right? So Pamela's thoughts are around this. Because the thoughts you hold in your mind determine what happens in your life. It's vital that you assume conscious responsibility for your thoughts. And so what are you thinking? And is it going to get you where you got to go? Is it going to get you to be that person that you intend to be? And it takes a while. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it takes some time to figure this stuff out. And a lot of us probably already have, you know, like, I mean, I've been at this for 7, 8, 9 years now. So it takes a little bit of time, but just chunking away, you know, you can't eat the whole elephant in one bite. So figure this out and work on that. And then figure this out and work on that. And read the book and, you know, go to the class and attend the conference and meet the people. Surround yourself with people. Did you say something, Lanny? No? Were you trying to say something? I couldn't tell if you were talking. Well,
I was reading Cindy's comment.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I have other people here and we're trying to figure all these things out.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, good. But
Keep it clean, Cindy.
keep it clean. She did. She kept it clean, I think.
That is clean for me. Do you want me to not be clean?
It's so much fun. I love Cindy.
But here's the thing. What I love is about how we're all here to help each other. You know, how we all are here locking arms and we're just wanting to figure this out. And so some of us just have figured out a little more than others in certain areas, right? And so we can help each other. And I think that's why, for me, it was just kind of putting myself out there more versus holding everything so close, so tight inside. Inside that I didn't want to share anything with anybody. And so there nobody could ever really help because I wasn't asking for help. And then that's what Tom is talking about in this 65 and a wake up. When you just start getting to know these people, so many people want help. Okay, Brenda, where are you? You said something about your tooth. Where is Brenda? Where is she? Brenda, can you unmute? Where are you? I can't see her. Is she still here? Or maybe, anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I see this tooth right here? I actually knocked it out skiing. And I had this beautiful crown, beautiful crown. And I was pregnant for my son. And I just been to the doctor and they said he was due anytime. And so he was born in May, and this was right around Easter, and I was eating a frozen chocolate bunny. And when I bit down on the ear, my tooth popped off. So all I had was this like steak thing sticking down. And I just remember my daughter came in and she goes, oh my God, I could never invite my friends over again. Because she thought, she had no idea I could get it fixed. But at the same time, it was the weekend. And I was like, I am not going into labor without a tooth. So I called my dentist and he went in and he got it fixed for me. But, I have always been self-conscious about having this crown, having this tooth and this little black on top and all this. Of course, you guys probably never noticed it, right? Because again, now it doesn't bother me, but before it did. And so it's one of those things where people don't even notice that stuff. So you might be self-conscious because you've got a loose tooth or you're missing a tooth, but that, you know what? You can get that fixed. It's what's in here is what's important. You can lose weight.
Marianne,
What?
let me tell you about my front tooth.
Oh, look at you, girlfriend.
My mother knocked this out. She hit me with a pair of fencing pliers. Not on purpose.
That about her. I do not believe that about your mom.
So I did not have a tooth and I was going to graduate from high school.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I finally did get one and it was the day before graduation.
Oh, too.
So I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
So I'm going to tell you guys this story really quick. I'm typing in this, but so I was married once a long, long time ago. Matter of fact, when I was like 21 and about a year before we were going to get married, my boyfriend at the time found out he had osteogenic sarcoma, which was a very aggressive bone cancer. And one of the things was he ended up having to have his leg amputated. So obviously we're very young and we decided that we were going to get married anyway. So it didn't matter. And I remember his mom came to me and she said, well, she goes, I can't believe you're going to let him cut a perfectly good foot off. I'm like, well, the cancer's at the knee. What am I going to do? I'm 21 years old. This is what they're telling us that has to happen. And so we did. So the goal the whole time was to get his prosthesis before we got married, before we walked down the aisle. And it never happened. So our whole wedding, he was on crutches and didn't have a leg. But you know what? Didn't matter because it was all about love. It didn't matter. And so many times, right? That's where we lay our hat, is in that belief of things that have happened in the past. Things that they create us, right? We become the people that we become because of this. I was a totally different person, when I went in on this side and I came out on that. And 3 months after we were married, he passed. And so I could have walked around for the rest of my life with a chip on my shoulder, right? Woe is me. Why did this happen? I mean, I wanted it to happen to me. I didn't want it to happen to him. I didn't want him to die. But, when I came out on the other side and I just remember, he's like, I want you to, get married and have kids and have a good life. And I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that because I didn't want him to be gone. And, but really what he did was he released me, right? He released me to move on. And now my husband of 34 years, this August, got introduced to me by my first husband's cousins. And they introduced me and they told him that I thought he was really cute. And I never said that. But that gave him, he could ask me out then. And I couldn't be married to a better guy. And so now I look back and it's like, we don't know. We don't know where our life is going. We don't know what's going to happen. And we just have to trust in God and trust in what, the direction that, where our heart is most, what do I want to say, like, drawn to. And so now I'm just like, okay, God, this is what's happening. I'm putting it in your hands and you just help me with this. And when I go to the front of the room to teach, to train, I just say, you tell me what I need, what needs to happen here. You hear Tom talk about it all the time. Like he'll go off on something and he's like, I don't know why, but God was just telling me I had to talk. I had to say that. And we don't know how many lives we touched, right, along the way. And so how many people are out there that could really use a good friend or use somebody that could just listen to them and help them and move them in a direction, right, that they might not have ever gone. And so very true, right? Stop withholding love. You've got to be unconditional love. And I'm going to talk about that just for a minute because, again, you have to have unconditional love, not only for yourself. If you have unconditional love for yourself, it is so amazing. The things that you can accomplish, the way you feel, the way you walk around. Because having unconditional love for the people around you, right? I don't judge Trish because she's got a funky toe. Nobody judges me, right? Because I got this. And so, we just are who we are. And once you have that unconditional love for yourself, then you can have that unconditional love for the people around you. And I truly, truly believe that that's what this business is all about, is having that unconditional love. Because the people that we meet, and people say, because I have a collected group of people like you wouldn't even believe. And so, but you know what? We all lock arms. Vincent can tell you this, huh, Vincent? We are a tight group and we love, each other and would do anything for each other. If someone needed help, all they have to do is ask. And sometimes just that asking is the hard part. And knowing that somebody has got your back and somebody's going to cover for you. And Vincent knows I love him. And my team knows that I love them. And you guys know that I love you. All unconditionally. Whatever little quirkies we got, right? It doesn't matter. Because when you love unconditionally, there is no judgment. What? Oh.
Yes, I was just going to say that when you love unconditionally, there is no judgment. Yeah. And so that's the whole point. You should never judge people for anything. The way, all these things that we should look at people and be loving to them and look into their heart. Never, ever, ever judge people because we have no idea what they've been through. And the old story of you don't know a man until you walk 1,000 miles in his moccasins, that whole truth of never, you don't know. Somebody you may think has got it all going on, has got it together, and the pain that they've experienced, the stuff that they've been through, and somebody who, you just don't know. Just don't do it. Just don't judge anybody no matter what. I don't care how you're looking at them. I don't care what they are, who they look like, who they hang around with. I don't care. Do not judge them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing where, when Kimmy Fitzer was going through all that stuff on Facebook and everything, my heart was going out to her because, I was reflecting back on, my experience. And so, you never know what somebody, like you said, what somebody's been through. And it took a long time to work through that, right? It took a long time to work through the pain of the loss or whatever it is. And so that's who we all are. We're just working at being better at who we are so we can help more people. Okay, well, it's like 5 minutes. If anybody's got anything they want to add or throw out there.
Yeah, Cindy just made a great comment. So if we hold back because of our own messy stuff, what does that say about my own unconditional love? Mm-hmm. And Cindy, when you say that, are you talking about for yourself or for others? What do you mean?
What are you talking about? I unmuted you. Oh,
I didn't say that. There's a
Cindy. There's a Cindy who said it. There's a Cindy, another Cindy. You're not the only Cindy.
Cindy. All right. Where's the other Cindy?
She's on the next page. Go to the next page. Hold on. Where is she?
Oh, Cindy. Okay, Cindy. Are you the Cindy?
Yes, I am.
Yay.
All
Cindy
right.
Mahar from Portland. So I think it goes all the way around for me and them. How I unconditionally love myself, and if I judge myself for my own messy stuff, how does that affect how my ability to unconditionally love someone else?
Yeah. And here's the other thing is why a lot of times people they put their messy stuff out there sometimes, right? Because then it's like they want you to have this judgment, and you're like, you know what? I don't need to know that, right? Because I'm not going to judge you. I don't need to know that. And
Yeah.
so, I think sometimes either we think that we have to have true confession all the time, and then and then it's like, so if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't, right? Or where you feel like we need to hide it because we don't want anybody to judge us. So thank you for sharing that.
Right. And we don't, it's interesting because you brought up a really great point, Marianne, is it's almost like a pendulum swing of balance. So we go from one extreme to another, but neither position is correct. It's actually the midpoint. And so sometimes we have to go from that one extreme all the way to the other side so that the pendulum has the opportunity to meet back here in the middle and settle to where it needs to be. So it's kind of that idea that when we want to do something or achieve something, you're going to reach for the stars because you may just catch a cloud, right? So you want to make sure that you go beyond your mark of where you're trying to hit, because then you have a greater chance of getting something that is a little bit closer. That's really, really what your true aspiration is.
Right. So do you guys see how this kind of relates to network marketing? Right? Because in our belief in what we want to share here, is that if we've got all this messy stuff just kind of clouding it up, then it's hard for us to really listen, right? Really hear. And I remember we had a guy on the radio show, and I can't remember who it was, but he said something. He said, you have to listen to hear what people are telling you, right? So listen, but hear what they're saying. Hear when they're giving you their pain or telling you what's going on or why they're experiencing things that they're experiencing. And sometimes it's more than just the products, but that we'll get into that, right? We can help people in a lot of different ways in network marketing. All right. It's like 6:29. So if anybody has anything else they want to add, we got another minute. Otherwise, I think we're good. Thank you guys. Thanks for coming on tonight. Pamela, thanks. Everybody, thanks for sharing. I really appreciate it. And we are going to Zoom in a minute. We're going to Zoom this meeting tonight. So we'll be back on the same link in a little bit. And we've got Dr. K here, and he's going to share about the Sorvana and those products and talk a little bit about who he is and what he does. So if you guys want to join us in a half hour. What's that?
What time?
At 7 o'clock Mountain Time. So like right in a half hour, in 30 minutes.
Is it Dr. K or Dr. Z?
What did I write?
It's Dr. K, but Tom put on Dr. Z.
Yeah.
No.
It's Dr. K.
That was me. Dr. K. That was me.
You
Tom,
put Z on there too?
I get. When did he post something, or was that me posting as Tom? Because sometimes I play Tom.
I don't know. I don't know.
Either.
Hey, Sharon's on her way.
Oh, good.
So Sharon's going to be there tonight.
All right.
Awesome.
All righty.
Hey, we love you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. I love you guys.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
For the woman that looks 50 instead of her real name.
What's that, Vincent? What are you saying, Vincent?
You look like you're 50.
I don't look 60, do I?
Not at all.
Not at all. Thank you. Vincent, I love you. Thank you. All right.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Good night.